Hello and welcome to You with Jesus. Let's jump straight in and hear from Jesus. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moths and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. No, you cannot serve both God and money. Some time ago, I went to pick my car up from leaving it in for a service for the day. It was one of those luxury car dealers with a workshop attached. I didn't have a luxury car, but I happened to know the mechanic, and he was happy to work on my little Volkswagen Golf. The owner of the business was an older man whose clients were mostly older, wealthier men who had been his clients for a long period of time. So the day I arrived, I'm fixing up the bill and he looked quite concerned about something. So I said to him, "Is everything all right?" And he responded, "No, not really." And I say, "Oh." And then he adds, "I've just heard that one of our long-term clients has suddenly dropped dead." "Oh, that's terrible," I say. He says, "The worst part about it was he had only been retired for a week. He's worked very hard all his life, been very successful, and on his retirement had treated himself to a brand new Range Rover and had brought it in to show us, and him and his wife were going to set off on a little road trip and enjoy his retirement. And he would often talk about the trip that he was going to do with his wife when he retired, and just like that, he's gone. I'm a bit in shock, to be honest," is what he said. And it was a heavy reminder to me that some people work and work. Some are very good at making money. They store it up. They have lots of plans. And all in a moment, it's gone. And that story reminds me of some other things Jesus said about money and possessions. And he said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, "What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "This is what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich towards God." Now, in the story I told you before, I don't know that particular man's heart before God. For all I know, he may have been a Jesus follower and a very generous person, using the means at his disposal to serve others. The fact is, however, that he was taken from this earth unexpectedly after 50 years of working his backside off with no opportunity to enjoy the fruit of his labour. Very sad and very sobering. Let's try and summarise what Jesus says in these two passages about money and possessions. Fundamentally, you can't serve both God and money. If your life is shaped around earning money and getting more money, then it will be impossible to serve God. You are like the soil in the parable that sprouts a good plant, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the fruitfulness. And I've seen this a number of times. Young adults who, prior to getting lost in their careers and becoming worried about everything and their kids and everything else, they were sold out for God, but the deceitfulness of wealth had ensnared them and they'd lost their joy. They still came to church when they could, but they were living conflicted, stressful lives. The alternative to this way of living is to shape our lives around God and abandon ourselves to Him, trusting every day into His hands. Now, God isn't against money or possessions. He's not even against people being rich. And let's face it, most of us listening to this, if you're from a first world country with an average annual income of around 100K or more, then you are in fact doing pretty well. The definition of rich means different things to different people. When I take a global perspective, I realise I am living in a position of great abundance. Now, is that wrong? Is it wrong to have savings? Is it wrong to have possessions, like my new keyboard over my shoulder? All these guitars on the wall? Is it wrong to blow 10 or 20K on an overseas trip? Well, that's probably the wrong question. The right question is, who or what are you serving? If your life, your values, and your decisions are shaped around what is best for you financially and what's going to maximize your lifestyle, if that is the most important consideration, then you will find it impossible to serve God. And even if money and possessions aren't wrong in themselves, I think we need to appreciate that having it can be a dangerous thing. Money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is. But the distance between having money and wanting more and more, just so you can feel more and more secure and buy more and more things and have more and more leisure opportunities, this is where it starts going wrong. This is where evil happens. You become like that camel trying to go through the eye of a needle. Very, very difficult to follow Jesus if that's what's driving you. Paul gives great wisdom to his young protege, Timothy. He says, teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud and not to trust in their money, which is so unreliable, but their trust should be in God, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. Brilliant advice. He doesn't condemn the rich for being rich, but he is counseling them that the act of generosity prevents you from becoming attached to the wealth for your own benefit. In another parable, Jesus applauds the person who invests wisely with what he has so that he might earn more. So Jesus is not opposed to us growing investments, but it comes back to the heart. Questions we need to ask are, where is our trust? Are they in our investments or in the Lord? And what are we thinking about? What are we looking at? What are we consumed by? What occupies our attention, our affections, our time? Is it anxiously watching our investments or needing a new something or other when we actually don't? Jesus is not opposed to us having things or enjoying life, but to what extent are we controlled by our desires and our preoccupation to have more? Does growing our wealth allow us to be more generous, like Joseph was in Egypt? Or is it just about us amassing more so that we can have an abundance, live a luxurious retirement, and travel more? What does our giving or lack of giving to the needy say about our attachment to money? I don't know about you, but these questions are very pertinent to me. A few weeks ago, my wife and I sat down with a financial planner and looked at the landscape of our finances, our lifestyle, our income, our expenses, and our plans for the future. It's quite a revealing exercise. But I'm conscious of Jesus' words here. He says, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body is full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. It's a challenge to me. What's my focus? What are my eyes looking at? My bank balance? My superannuation balance? My investments? We don't talk about this much in church. It's considered our private world, but it's such a big area. I think we should talk about it more. Jesus certainly did. The consequences of getting it wrong are devastating. At the very least, worries about money will choke our fruitfulness. And at worst, making money the goal will impact us for eternity. Jesus talks about being rich toward God. Here's 3 ways we can be rich toward God. 1, make him your greatest treasure. Like the psalmist says, whom have I in heaven but you? And being with you, I desire nothing on earth. 2, use the resources you have for things that last into eternity. 3, live in ways that reflect God's heart. See you in the next episode.